Well, the last thing is just new referrals to IPBS. So I received one that came into my box as the coordinator, or as our intensive intervention coordinator. And then I know there's been a couple of kids that Sarah's been able to talk about. So if we can run through those really quick. The first one is Kellen. It actually might need to spend a few minutes on Kellen. He's in Sully's class. He's a kindergartner, and he came to us after winter break, so he's kind of new, but already on an IEP, and really a lot of behavior challenges coming in, and virtually no academic skills either. So he's a really, really tough cookie. And I just think, you know, with him being a kindergartner, he's pretty little for check and check out anyway, but, you know, we should probably get a plan in place sooner rather than later to support the teacher. I mean, we did want to try your general ed first, you know, and see.
Some of the other districts that we get these kids moving in from, they just don't support their kids.
And we didn't get a lot of information on him other than we knew he was already, you know, a special ed kid.
So there's an element of information collection that needs to happen if we're going to get anything working for the teacher.
What do they expect us to do? They send us these kids without any skills.
Yeah. I don't think check-in, check-out's going to work for this student right off the bat, too. I mean, I think we need, starting with some more intensive supports, collect some information, and then we can kind of see where we're at. Looks like a student with a lot more severe challenges, so I think.
It sounds like for this particular one, there's some home things too, based on sort of what we got. I mean, with what little information we did have, they've a lot of moving around. That's why he's new to us. So that's
about that age, huh?
I know.
So let's move forward. Let's kind of finish up this discussion.
Well, I'll do my best to get them in for an IEP review. But if they're that kind of family, I don't know if they're going to be that, involved. But I'll try to get an IEP review.
And you have a little bit of rapport with them just in terms of the moving in.
Yeah.
Maybe if you want to be a part of it.
Sure. I can definitely be part of the team and contact mom, follow what our next steps are.
Work on the legal pieces around the IEP meeting, and Mike, it sounds like your expertise could come in really handy if we're going to need to do an individualized plan for him.
Yeah, I can get out there, and if we can at least get something from the parents about starting some data collection and some observations and some file review kind of stuff, I'd be glad to start digging into that.
Perfect.
I also think it's going to be important too, if we have parents that have moved around a lot, their trust level with the school might not be as high, and so I think it's like we do with some teachers that need a little bit of help, really approaching them from a supportive angle and saying, we want to be successful, we want to help, we want to maybe have some kind of discussion about what the common goals are and try and work from there.
Especially with the grades that you have.
That's a good point.
So this one's going to be a little bit more comprehensive. Do you think by the end of April maybe we should?
Well, this again is really important, so we need to jump on this as soon as we can. So end of April, definitely, I can get that IEP meeting set.
And I'll definitely put him on the follow-up for the next meeting just to find out what the progress has been, even though we won't necessarily expect that all the data will have been collected in a couple weeks, but make sure we're moving forward with him. And then we had 3 other kiddos that maybe Sarah can tell us about just real quickly that came to us, a couple of them from the school-wide IPBS team, because they were receiving all this discipline referrals.
Yeah, we have Cameron, a 3rd grader, and this is Sam's class, and at this point she's got 4 office discipline referrals, and we're kind of looking at, that standard or that decision rule right around 2 or 3 to go ahead and put students on check-in, check-out. So I think that's a good thing just to go ahead and start her on it and see how she does and monitor her progress, and then we can follow up at the next meeting. So my plan was just to start her on check-in, check-out.
Perfect. That's great.
Yeah,
and
she's
already started.
She'll do well. She loves attention.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't have her, but you know her. And it was great that you were able to go ahead and get that process going before the meeting, so she should be able to start pretty soon. That's great.
Yep, and I also, from the PBS team, of course I'm on that as well, we identified Shay, also, same classroom. You would think that they're buddying up, but they sort of have kind of their own different issues. But again, at this point in the year, 4 office referrals, so I think let's go ahead and again just try it out and check in, check out, and see what happens, and then 2 weeks we'll check in again, and so the groundwork's kind of already laid for that as well.
Perfect.
So maybe the function of the behavior, what Shay's getting out of it isn't as clear cut as Cameron, but it's still, yeah, good to get some data going.
It's
Yeah.
still, yeah, so
She's pretty new too. I don't think she's been in school for more than maybe a month and a half. I have to check on that, but I think she's pretty new too. So that connection, maybe she's just really missing the connection with
That's a good
school.
point.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it seems like we might as well just start her out that way, and like you said, we have some data, and then if we do need to go further, then we can collect some more information, but that'll give us a start.
Great.
And then our last student is Chad in Mr. Davies' class, and he's a second grader. He doesn't have as many office referrals, but he's had 2 since winter break. So that's definitely kind of reaching a threshold. You know, we're not exactly sure. I haven't had a chance to check in with the teacher specifically of what's been going on, but I have heard through the grapevine that she's been pretty frustrated. It seems like ever since winter break happened, I don't know what happened over winter break, but he's been a lot more disruptive in class and talking out and walking around the room. So we're thinking about maybe just as well starting him out on check-in, check-out to see if that will help. And then if not, you know, put him back on the agenda.
Teacher's been practically camping out in my office.
Really?
Complaining, so I'm hoping you can do something.
Yeah. We'll try that, but at least we can get some support to him right away. Maybe it won't be perfect, but at least the teacher knows we're trying to do something, and then we'll modify
That
it.
would
So
help.
that's gonna get us up to, I look at it, 17 kids on check and check out. How are you feeling about supporting all those? Or are there kids that we're starting to fade? We didn't really talk about them because they're successful, but we're doing
Yeah.
okay there in terms of our capacity.
Our capacity is probably around 20, but there are a couple students that I'm looking at starting to fade out or in the first phase of fading out. So trying to have them do more of the self-monitoring pieces like we do. So I think by the time we meet again, we might have more around 15 or so.
I look forward to seeing about how those kids are kind of celebrated. Their exit
Yes.
is really
Yes.
exciting.
Yeah.
We have the alumni club, so we get to help teach the new students on check-in, check-out, and
Love it.
they get together once a month and a little celebration. So we'll
Awesome.
invite you guys next
I
time.
don't know how you do it.
Well, thank you guys so much. Maybe real quick, should we review how we thought our meeting went and the process? How did we do timekeeping? Were we on time?
Yeah, we're right at 34 minutes, 46 seconds.
Wow, this is one of our fastest
Quick.
meetings.
That was
But
good.
you know, it's really helpful because everybody was here, and so we were able to divvy up tasks a little bit more easily. I think that's why this one went a little bit more quickly than some of them do. We have to follow up with them. So that was great that everyone was able to be here.
And everybody came on time. Good job.
Yeah.
Sometimes when we're a little.
I think even though sometimes we do really worry about kids and we talk about other information outside of our topic, I think sometimes it's good to get some of that information out as long as we don't spend too much time
Yeah,
talking
we were
about
pretty on task today, I think.
Yeah. Thank you, whoever brought the treats.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
great.
yeah.
She's always thinking of that.
Yeah.
Erin, when can we expect the minutes? Because I think I just made a big laundry list for myself, and I just want to make sure that I can keep track of it.
I'm finishing up right now with them, and so I will have them out to you by the end of the day.
Oh, wow, that's
Perfect.
great.
That's great. Aaron, you were so
fast, thank you.
fabulous.
Are you
Can
putting them on the
Top
wiki
job.
too?
Yeah, yes,
Okay.
they'll be on the wiki.
Awesome. Well, I think that's it.
Are we
are all
adjourned?
done. We are
All
adjourned.
right.
I
Good
know.
job, everybody.
Yeah.